where is LeBron going to go for his next season? After LeBron declines to return to the Lakers, his agent actually announces that he is open to joining any of the 29 other teams in the league. His agent then announces his 10 realistic destinations, those being the Boston Celtics, the Cleveland Cavaliers, the Minnesota Timberwolves, the New York Knicks, the Philadelphia 76ers, the Golden State Warriors, Miami Heat, San Antonio Spurs, Dallas Mavericks, and Denver Nuggets. So I made a tier list of probability tiers for where I think LeBron could go. Now, before we get started, this is just my personal opinion on where I think LeBron could go based on his fit and also his legacy. I do think he does not want a ring chase. With that all said, come back to this video, and if I'm right, I'm right. And if I'm wrong, point and laugh. Just point and laugh. All right, so getting started, our first team on the list is the Boston Celtics, which, if you didn't know, are my team. After we just traded Jaylen Brown, if we could get LeBron James, I would be ecstatic. However, I just don't see it as a realistic destination because LeBron's entire career, whether it was with Cleveland, Miami, or the Lakers, that man has been raised to hate the Boston Celtics. I do think he would mesh really well with Tatum. They both have talked about how much they love each other's game, but realistically, I don't see LeBron joining the Boston Celtics after he's hated that team for almost 2 decades now. Actually, probably more than 2 decades. So I'm going to put the probability of LeBron joining the Celtics into nah tier. I see it as a very low possibility. Next up on the list, I think LeBron has a very good chance of returning to Cleveland. I think it is the team he will return to. The Cavs check off everything that LeBron is looking for: a contending window, legacy. I mean, he was drafted there. I don't see any holes in a reason for why LeBron would not want to join Cleveland. So yeah, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. The Cavaliers have a very high chance of getting LeBron. And honestly, I think they're the only team with a very high chance of getting LeBron. Next up on our list, we have the Minnesota Timberwolves. They are a very interesting case. They have Anthony Edwards, who is an absolute upcoming superstar. And LeBron would actually fit super well with their roster, being what? LaMelo Ball, Anthony Edwards, Jaden McDaniels, LeBron James, and then Rudy Gobert. The 4 guys defensively of Edwards, Braun, McDaniels, and Gobert is dangerous. However, with all that said, I don't see a major reason for why LeBron would want to go to Minnesota other than that. They would contend, but does he want to stay in the West? I'm not currently sure, but I do think they have a very good chance of getting LeBron. So I'm going to put them in good chance tier. Next up, we have the New York Knicks. So this is also a weird case because Rich Paul also just announced recently that LeBron is not going to join the Knicks because they just won a title. And kind of like how I said earlier, I don't think LeBron wants to ring chase because that would be detrimental to his career. So I don't think he's joining Karl-Anthony Towns. I don't think he's joining Jalen Brunson. I don't think he's joining Josh Hart. I think he's going to stay away from the Knicks. So I'm going to put them in nah tier. Next up, we have the Philadelphia 76ers. They are also a very interesting case because they just got Jaylen Brown. And if LeBron James joins that team, that starting 5 will be deadly in NBA 2K. They will also be dominant in the league as well, but they do need to work on that bench because some of the players on that bench are a bunch of my players. With all that said, the starting 5 would be Tyrese Maxey, VJ Edgecombe, Jaylen Brown, LeBron James, Joel Embiid, if he's healthy. That's a very lethal starting 5, but I also just don't see a good reason for why LeBron would want to go to Philadelphia besides potentially contending alongside those guys, but I do think he has better options. I do think they have a good chance because it would be a very powerful starting 5, but I kind of see them head-to-head with the Timberwolves almost. So I'm going to put the Sixers below the Timberwolves in good chance tier, but it's still a good chance. Next up, we have the Golden State Warriors. This is a high chance, just straight up. Stephen Curry, Jimmy Butler, Draymond Green, LeBron James, Kristaps Porzingis, Al Horford if he returns. It's a bunch of unctions. It's unks. It's old people galore, but it would be so cool to watch. I know the Warriors are very heavy on trying to get him. I know they tried to recently get Anthony Davis to bring LeBron in, but it looks like it's not going to happen. So I do think that kind of impacts their chance a little bit, but I do think Stephen Curry being there alone does draw in LeBron just because they were rivals, but They both dominated that era so heavily, so seeing those two players play one last time together would be insane. So I'm putting the Golden State Warriors in a high chance tier. Next up, we have the Miami Heat. Miami and LeBron was a straight villain, and I do think it was probably the best stint of his career. He had 2 championships. He played alongside Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, absolutely dominated the league, dominated the Celtics. LeBron could return to Miami and potentially compete alongside Giannis and Bam Adebayo, which the 3 of those guys defensively are absolutely dangerous. But with how their roster is constructed and with LeBron being at Miami the least amount of time in his career, I don't think it's as high of a chance as Cleveland, for example, but I do think it's still a high chance. So I'm going to put the Miami Heat in high chance tier. I do have them below the Warriors because I do think Miami isn't trying as hard to get LeBron as the Warriors and Cleveland are, but I do still think it's a high chance, and I wouldn't be surprised if LeBron is suiting up for Miami in 2 weeks. Next up, we have the San Antonio Spurs. I'm kind of mixed on this team because they were just in the finals and they lost terribly to the Knicks, throwing away many games and having very bad plays. So LeBron joining alongside Wembanyama and all the young guys on the Spurs would be absolutely insane. I'm also thinking about how he could join Luke Cornett, and that's just funny because he literally just dominated him in the regular season. Like, he postered him so bad. Jokes aside, I do think the Spurs would be a good place for LeBron to go to compete and contend because the Spurs were just there, and I do think LeBron could patch up a lot of their mistakes that they made in the finals, being such a veteran player with a lot of experience. I don't think it would look good on LeBron to go to the San Antonio Spurs because I do think he would be labeled as a ring chaser. Me personally, I don't see it as that, but you know how narratives are online. LeBron would be getting flamed if he went to San Antonio because he'd probably be labeled a ring chaser. So with that all said, I'm going to put the Spurs in meh tier. I don't think they're as high of a contention to get LeBron as these other guys, but meh. Next up, we have the Dallas Mavericks. I'm just going to put them in nah tier. I'm going to put them between the Celtics and the Knicks. I know, like, on the board that Rich Paul had, his agent, he had Dallas down for oil, golf, which I know LeBron loves golf. I know LeBron is, like, he does all that stuff outside of basketball, but in my personal opinion, I do think LeBron would put basketball over all of that, and I don't think he'd want to join a tanking Dallas team while they're still trying to build around Cooper Flag. It would be insane if we see LeBron and Kyrie pair up one final time. That would be insane to watch. Also, I think the one player in this entire league to benefit from learning LeBron's game the most is Cooper Flag. That man might become a demon if LeBron becomes his mentor. But still, I think LeBron would want to join a team that can compete for a title while they're still alive, so I'm going to put the Mavericks in nah tier. Finally, we have the Denver Nuggets. I kind of feel the same way about the Spurs with this one. I mean, the Nuggets are a very good team. It would be Jamal Murray, LeBron James, Cam Johnson, Aaron Gordon, Nikola Jokic. That's a pretty good starting 5. But I don't think LeBron has as many ties to Denver as some might say he does, but I just don't think it's as good of a chance as all these teams above him. Not saying like Denver won't get him, but I think they have probably the same chance as the Spurs. So I will be putting the Denver Nuggets in meh tier under the Spurs. And there we have it. That's my list for LeBron's potential teams. From ranked highest to lowest, I have the Cleveland Cavaliers in first. I think that's where LeBron's going. It's where he started his career. It's where we saw prime LeBron, absolutely insane LeBron, where we got all those edits of him dominating in the league. Next up, we have the Golden State Warriors and Miami Heat. I think those are 2 very good options for LeBron to join alongside Curry or Giannis and contend maybe, and just play some very cool basketball. It'd be super fun to watch Curry and LeBron play together, so I have it in a high chance. Next up, I have the Timberwolves and Sixers. Those are 2 very good teams that are just one good player away from being contenders, in my opinion. So LeBron could easily join those teams. However, I just don't think it's as good of a chance as the 3 teams above them because of either ties to the players, organizations, or cities. Then I have the meh tier, which has the Spurs and then the Nuggets in it. 2 very good teams, but with how both are structured, I just don't think LeBron would go there, but I'm not going to entirely rule it out, but meh. And then finally, nah tier, where I just don't think it's going to happen. I don't think he's going to go to the Celtics just because of I don't think he's going to the Mavericks. I think LeBron wants to compete in his final year or final few years, and I just don't think Dallas will have that for a few years. And then finally, I have the Knicks, which we already know because they already won the title. That's my list. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Am I right? Am I wrong? I don't know. Come back and find out. That's all I have to say. Those are my opinions. Comment down below where you think LeBron's going to go. Hey, LeBron. Don't come to Boston. We got Baylor Shireman.
My Roku remote broke after I put LeBron James, You Are My Sunshine on the TV. I'm being so serious. I can't change the channel. I'm screwed.